Hi, and welcome to this week's Assembly for Holy Week and Easter. I hope you're going to really enjoy the Easter break, and I'm sure it's needed. If you're watching this while you're actually on holiday, then I trust it's a really restful and refreshing time. So we're going to be thinking a little bit about why we're having a holiday at this time of year and what Easter's all about. And first of all, we're going to have two little Bible readings, one from Jeremiah and one from Genevieve, the head boy and the head girl. So over to them now.
Luke 23, chapters 32 to 42. 2 other men, both criminals, were also led out with him to be executed. When they came to the place called the Skull, they crucified him there along with the criminals, one on his right, the other on his left. Jesus said, "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." And they divided up his clothes by casting lots. The people stood watching, and the rulers even sneered at him. They said, "He saved others. Let him save himself if he is God's Messiah, the chosen one." The soldiers also came up and mocked him. They offered him wine vinegar and said, "If you are the King of the Jews, save yourself." There was a written notice above him, which read, "This is the King of the Jews." One of the criminals who hung there hurled insults at him. "Aren't you the Messiah? Save yourself and us." But the other criminal rebuked him. "Don't you fear God," he said, "since you are under the same sentence. We are punished justly, for we are getting what our deeds deserve. But this man has done nothing wrong." Then he said, "Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom."
A Bible passage from 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verses 20 to 25. And it reads, "Where is the wise? Where is the scribe? Where is the disputer of this age? Has not God made foolish the wisdom of this world? For since in the wisdom of God, the world through wisdom did not know God, it pleased God through the foolishness of the message preached to save those who believe. For Jews request a sign, and Greeks seek after wisdom. But we preach Christ crucified, to the Jews a stumbling block, and to the Greeks foolishness. But to those who are called, both Jews and Greeks, Christ the power of God and the wisdom of God, because the foolishness of God is wiser than man, and the weakness of God is stronger than men." Another reading from 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verses 1 and 2. And it reads, "And I, brethren, when I came to you, did not come with excellence of speech, or of wisdom declaring to you the testimony of God. For I determined not to know anything among you, except Jesus Christ and him crucified."
All right, thank you so much for those two Bible readings. So I've got a collection of crosses here. I've got this cross, which some of you may recognise as a cross that we quite often use on Palm Sunday. And I've got a bunch of others. I've got this tiny little cross that is supposed to remind me to pray for Christians in North Korea, of all places. I've got a cross here that was made from the wood from some old pews in my old school chapel. I've got a silvery cross here. I've even got this really big cross that is made from discarded wood, and you can see it's kind of curved like that. I really like that one. It's quite a significant one. And you may have a cross at home somewhere, even some silvery cross that you hang around your neck. But if you think about it, it's kind of a strange thing really, because that reading that we had just a few moments ago from Genevieve, Luke 23, reminds us that it was horrible. Good Friday, the events that we remember on Good Friday, were truly barbaric. You know, crucifixion was so bad that the Romans themselves eventually banned it, thinking that it was just too violent and oppressive. So why do we spend all of this time remembering? Why do we have these symbols? Why do we want to keep referring to the cross at all? It might surprise you to know that in that reading Jeremiah brought to us, St. Paul says, "For while I was with you, I resolved to know nothing except Jesus Christ and him crucified." Why? Well, it's pretty clear that for some people, there is no need at all to think about the cross. It's a ridiculous, stupid, wasteful, unpleasant thing. And the sooner that we forget it, the better for everyone. But for others, the cross is a glorious thing. It's a beautiful thing. It's an amazing thing. It seems to me that the cross has always divided people. If you think about the passage that Genevieve read, and those two men crucified with Jesus, one is hurling insults at Jesus. Aren't you the Messiah? He said, save yourself and us. And the other says, don't you fear God? We're punished justly, for we're getting what our deeds deserve, but this man has done nothing wrong. Then he turns to Jesus and says a very surprising thing. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Now, does it look like Jesus is about to inherit a kingdom? Of course it doesn't. And yet this man is somehow able to see something that can't be seen with a naked eye. I wonder which category you'd find yourself in. Are you in the first category, like the criminal saying, oh, this is all ridiculous, what a stupid thing? Or are you like the second criminal saying, Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom? And amazingly, Jesus himself, even as in his dying moments, says, truly I tell you, today you will be with me in paradise. The Christian faith has always divided people. Those who say, oh look, it's ridiculous, how can anyone believe such nonsense? And those who say, Lord, I do believe, I put my trust in you, even though others may think you're just a broken, crucified, wandering rabbi. I know that you are the Lord of glory. I hope this Holy Week and Easter, you'll take time to think about these things, maybe to read the accounts for yourself in any of the Gospels, in any version of the Bible that you care to choose to read, and you'll think carefully about what it means for you today. Let's pray. Living God, thank you so much for all that Jesus achieved for us by dying in our place, paying our debts, and make it possible for us to be forgiven. Please teach us more about these things during this Holy Week and Easter, for Jesus' sake. Amen. Thank you so much for listening.